Hello, first grade friends. Mr. Bailey wants to share today with you about how I choose books to add to our library collection, how I add books that I think kids want to check out. So here's some of my process I go through when I start choosing books for our library. First, I look at what new books are out there. I might look at the book fair and read some of the new books and choose some of those. I might go online and read about some of the new books that are being published. There's websites that show lists of new books that are being published each quarter. Um, Sometimes I search through printed catalogs on books. Mr. Bailey receives books from vendors, people who are trying to sell me their books, and I'll look through their catalogs and look for interesting books. I also talk to other librarians, other people doing my job and who have recently purchased books and add to their collection of books for their students. And I ask them, what are you kids liking to read? What have you bought new recently for your students? And so I get their recommendations. I also go to the public library and read some of their new books that they've purchased for their patrons, the people that come in and check out books at the public library. Um, Another way add books to the library, I often look at what I already have and I look for areas that I can improve it. For example, I might look at my animal collection and look what animals don't I have? What books do I have um, on certain animals, and maybe I need more. Maybe I only have 2 lion books and I need 3 because that's a popular animal, or I have a student that really wants to read about a Black Panther and I don't have a Black Panther book. And so I look what I already have and what's missing from my collection. Um, I also look at some of my old books and say, this one's kind of ripped. The cover is faded and fallen apart. It's been well loved and read for many years, and it needs to be replaced with a newer book that can last a long time. I also look at books that I need to add to a series. So, for example, Magic Treehouse often adds new books, and I think they're up to like 58 now. And Mary Pope Osborne writes a new book every so often, and when she writes a book and publishes it, I'll purchase that book to add to our fiction series section in the Magic Treehouse section. So I look what I have and what I need to add to what I already have. Another way I choose books for our library is I listen to you guys. Oftentimes you guys come into library class and ask, Mr. Bailey, do you have a book on octopus? And I say, no, I don't really have a good book on octopus. And I might look online, I look on some catalogs, I look through some lists of books, and I start looking at them and find, oh, here's a good book on octopus that first graders would like to read. Another way I choose books for our library is I talk to your teachers and say, hey, is there any books that you would like to have in our library so you could check out and share with your first graders? Sometimes you are learning some new things and there's some books that your teachers know about that Mr. Bailey doesn't know about. And so I talk to your teachers and ask for suggestions for them too. So those are kind of some ways that Mr. Bailey uses to find books. I look what's new. I look at what books I already have and what books I can add to my collection. I listen to my students and hear what you guys like reading. I also listen to your teachers and find out what they would like the library to purchase so that they can use them in the classroom. So hope that helps. Hope that gives you some idea how Mr. Bailey chooses books for the library. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you soon in the library.